I'm making a relinquished deck profile with the release of their, or it's kind of their card, but kind of isn't, but their new card being Eye of Illusion from Maze Millennia. I figured I'd go ahead and make an update to this just because that card's new, and I honestly really like playing the relinquished deck just because you give your opponent a monster, you steal it, give them another monster, you steal that one too, and you give them a third monster, and then you steal it also. Anyway, starting with the monsters, I play 3 copies of Jester Confiend. Jester Confiend has the effect that as long as you don't control one, you can special summon it from your hand. And let's see. However, if it's sung this way, then during your opponent's next end phase, you target a face-up monster your opponent controls, return both that target and this card to your hand. However, it's not going to get there, because usually you're going to be linking it off immediately for a link 1, or using it for a rank 1 XZ summon. And then next, I play 3 copies of Relinquished. Relinquished has the effect that once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls and equip it to it, or equip that target to this card. You can only have one monster equipped by this effect at a time. And then, if it be destroyed by a battle, then you can destroy the equipped monster instead, and any battle damage your opponent or you would take from battles involving it while equipped with an opponent's monster, your opponent takes instead. I just like it because, again, you can use it to target an opponent's monster, equip it to it, and then they have one less monster. Then I play 3 copies of Golden Eye's Idol. Golden Eye's Idol has the effect that once per turn, as a quick effect, you can activate its effect to look at your opponent's hand, and then if you do, then the card's name becomes Thousand Eyes Idol for the rest of the turn, which basically just lets you fusion summon Thousand Eyes Restrict without having to use your copy of, what is it, Instant Fusion. And then its other effect is, you can, if it is banished or sent to the grave by card effect, you can target one monster your opponent controls and equip it to an Eyes Restrict or a relinquished monster you control, where the equipped monster gains attack equal to that monster's attack. And you can only use each effect of Golden Eye's Idol once per turn. And then next, I play 3 copies of Millennium Eyes Illusionist. Millennium Eyes Illusionist has the effect that you can, as a quick effect, discard it, target an effect monster your opponent controls, equip it to an Eyes Restrict or an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or relinquished monster you control, and as if it were, what was it worded specifically? Okay, equip it to it as if it were equipped by that monster's effect, and then it has the next part is a mandatory effect of if an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or relinquished is special summoned to your field, or is special summoned in general, then you add this card from your graveyard to your hand. Which I actually think it's hilarious that that is a mandatory thing. Which, one thing you can do with this is actually fuse it with a relinquished, summon Millennium Eyes Restrict, and then Millennium Eyes Illusionist will actually immediately activate to go to your hand. And then next, I play 3 copies of Manju of the 10,000 Hands. This monster just on summon lets you add a ritual spell or a ritual monster from your deck to your hand. I honestly don't actually think Manju is needed in this deck, so I'm honestly thinking about taking it out for Pod Prosperity instead. Or for 3 more Kaijus. Anyway, I also play 1 copy of Illusionist Faceless Magician. Magician has the effect of, if an Eyes Restrict or Relinquished is summoned while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon it, or if it's in your hand, even if not, just meaning if it was part of a chain to search for this, and then a Millennium Eyes, an Eyes Restrict or a Relinquish was summoned, you can then special summon this card, which usually you can use this for your Black Illusion Ritual, tribute it to summon Relinquished, and then it'll summon itself. And then if it is sent to the graveyard, I think it has to be destroyed. Let's see. Nope. If it's sent from field to grave, you can special summon a Eyes Restrict or Relinquish from your graveyard. And you can use each effect of Illusionist Faceless Magician once per turn. But because it can summon itself back, I don't think you need more than 1. And then for kaijus, I play 3 copies of Jizukiryu. You play this one specifically because it's one of the strongest ones, and since Relinquished just gets to absorb a monster, that just means your Relinquished will have 3,300 attack. Same reasoning for 3 copies of Thunder King the Lightning Strike Kaiju. And that's it for the monsters. For the spells, I play 1 copy of Instant Fusion. This lets you pay 1,000 life points to then be able to special summon a level, 5 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck. However, it can't attack, and it's destroyed during the end phase of that turn. Which, usually, one thing I can do with this is, if I seek 2 kaijus with this, I will give my opponent one of the kaijus by getting rid of one of their annoying monsters. Use Instant Fusion, summon Thousand Eyes Restrict, then activate, its effect, take the kaiju, give them a second kaiju, then link off the Thousand Eyes for Relinquished Anima, and then have Relinquished Anima take the second kaiju. And then technically you could kaiju your opponent a 3rd time. And then next I'll play 2 copies of the Black Illusion Ritual. Black Illusion Ritual just lets you ritual or tribute monsters from your hand or field whose levels equal 1 or more, and then ritual summon Relinquish from your hand. Next, I play 3 copies of Preparation of Rites. This just lets you add a level 7 or lower ritual monster from your deck to your hand, and then you can add a ritual spell from your graveyard to hand. Then I play 3 copies of Preparation of Rites. Preparation of Rites just lets you add a ritual spell from your deck to your hand, and then you can add a ritual monster that ritual spell mentions specifically from deck to hand. And then next, I play 3 copies of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Kaiju Slumber has the effect that you just dark hole the field and then summon 2 kaijus from your deck, 1 to each field. And then on a turn other than the turn this card was in the graveyard, you can banish it to then be able to search for a kaiju. And you can only, I believe, yeah, you can only activate 1 Interrupted Kaiju per Slumber per turn. And then next, I play 3 copies of Relinquished Fusion. It just lets you fusion summon an Eyes Restrict fusion monster by banishing materials from your hand, field, or grave. And then during the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard to then target an effect monster your opponent controls, equip that monster to an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or Relinquished as if it was equipped by that monster's effect. And you can use each effect of Relinquished Fusion once per turn. And then finally, I play 3 copies of Eye of Illusion. Eye of Illusion can only be activated if you control a spellcaster or an illusion monster, where you can activate 1 of 3 effects, where your illusion and spellcaster monsters can't be destroyed by battle this turn. During your opponent's turn, you target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Take control of it until the end of the turn, or until the end phase. Or, when an opponent's monster requires an attack, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, except for the attacking monster, and change the attack target to it, and then perform damage calculation normally. I just like it because you can either make it so that your Relinquished or Eyes Restrict monsters can't just be destroyed in battle, or you can redirect an attack on them, or even steal an opponent's monster that they needed until the end of the turn. Anyway, that's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. Now, there are anything past the first 7 monsters, I feel like you can be anything you want. Most people, I feel like, would play Lynx, but I like rank 1s instead, so I was going with that. So anyway, starting off with the Lynx, I play 3 copies of Relinquished Anima. This just has the effect where you activate its effect, target a monster in a zone this card points to, and equip it to it, and then Anima gains that monster's attack. Is it just attack? Well, yeah, it would just be attack because it's a link. The one thing that makes me laugh about Relinquished Anima is that it is literally just an upside-down Relinquished, which I think is hilarious. And then I play 1 copy of Thousand Eyes Restrict. Thousand Eyes Restrict has the same effect as Relinquished, as you can target a monster your opponent controls, equip it, and then gains that monster's attack and defense. And then its other effect is other monsters on the field cannot declare attacks. Which that's one thing I really like about Thousand Eyes Restrict. Next, I play 3 copies of Millenniumized Restrict. Millenniumized has the effect that once per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can change this monster's effect to target an effect monster your opponent controls or in the graveyard and equip it to this monster. It gains the attack and defense equal to the that of the monsters equipped by its effect. And then any monster effect your opponent would activate that has the same name as a card equipped to Millenniumized has its effects negated. Which, Millenniumized is a really good way of actually preventing hand traps from going off. And then this is the part of the extra deck that most people don't use, but I just wanted to because I like rank 1s anyways. But I play 1 copy of number 78, Number Archive. Number Archive has the effect where you can detach material to then have your opponent choose a card from your extra deck at random. And then if it's a number monster with a number between 1 and 99, you summon that monster on top of this card, transferring its materials, and it's treated as an Xyz summon. Then I play 1 copy of number 63, Shimoji Soldier. Shimoji Soldier has the effect where you can only use each of its effects once per turn, or you can only use the effect once per turn, where, let's see, I honestly forget what it was. Let's see, detach material, then activate one of these effects. Right at the start of your opponent's next standby phase, each player draws a card, or each player gains 1,000 life points. I just thought it'd be a fun card because you get to use it to draw. Like I said, though, most of these, I'm probably going to end up replacing the Xyz monsters with Link monsters just because they are technically better. Well, except for this next one. This one will always be in a relinquished deck I play, which is number 54, Lionheart. Lionheart has the effect where it can't be destroyed in battle, and any battle damage you take, your opponent takes instead, or your opponent takes as well. And then, when it battles a monster, you can detach material, and your opponent takes the damage you would have taken from that battle instead. Then I play numbers 13 and 31, Embodiment of Crime and Punishment. Both of them only have the effect that they only gain their effects while the other one's in play, which is they can't be destroyed in battle, and your opponent takes any battle damage you have taken from the battles involving this card. Or your opponent takes any battle damage from that you would take on attacks on the card, so they have to attack it for that to work. And then, let's see, where was it? You can detach material. Okay, and then they each also have the effect of you can detach material to then force all your opponent's monsters to attack mode, and they must attack if able. And I believe that is a quick effect. Okay, yes, that is a quick effect. And then I play 1 copy of number 56, Gold Rat. And Gold Rat just lets you detach a material to draw a card and then shuffle a card from your hand back to the deck. And then these last 2 are in here just because of Number Archive, which is number 92, Hard Earth Dragon, and number 99, Utopic Dragon. These are just in here for really good options, as this is just a 4,000 body, I believe, in this deck. Let's see, I can't remember exactly. Target number, monster, graveyard, personal defense. Okay, yeah, pretty much only useful effect it has is it can detach a material to negate anything that would target it. But it is like I said, it is a 4,000 body. And then Hard Earth Dragon just makes so that your opponent takes any battle damage you would take from battles involving it. And then during your opponent's end phase, you can detach material from it to then banish all cards from their field that were played or placed there that turn. And then its last effect is if it's destroyed by card effect while it has materials, then you special summon it back from the graveyard and then gains 1,000 attack for each card currently banished. Blech. Like I said, they'll probably take out 6 of the Xyz monsters for Link monsters. But that's all I have for my relinquished deck. If you have any ideas what I can do to improve the deck, any ideas for decks like to see being made in the future, or decks like to see face each other, feel free to comment down below. Thank you for watching.